Hey everybody, another weekly tip coming to you. We have been getting absolutely pounded with rain in Wisconsin these past 2 weeks, and God's blessings to all the families in Madison and everywhere for that matter that are experiencing catastrophic effects from the flooding. Thoughts and prayers to you and yours, and hopefully it's a quick recovery for you and get back on your feet. With the amount of flooding that's been going on, I wanted to do a follow-up video to my video last week regarding flood insurance and the process when a lender determines if a property is in a floodplain or not is it's a flood certification process. And the flood certification company, they're simply looking up a property address and they're determining is a floodplain touching any part of that parcel of land. And usually if the floodplain is touching any part of the parcel of land, it's going to trigger a yes response, meaning that homeowner is required to have flood insurance. Now I want to stop right there and I want to emphasize something. I am not advocating that people go without flood insurance if you need it or if you want it. It can save you thousands of dollars. Don't get me wrong on this, but what I am saying is many times a house is not in a flood zone, or it may not be in a risk of being flooded. And if a lender tells you that you need flood insurance, but you think that might be inaccurate, it pays to have them double check or possibly speak with a lender that knows how to fight the FEMA flood maps or advocate for you against the flood insurance, because it is a very expensive thing to carry. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. This is a client's house whom I helped a year or so ago. The floodplain is over here on the left-hand side of the screen. The house, the dwelling itself, you can see is outside of the flood zone. The flood zone comes right up almost to the patio of the home, but the home itself is not in a floodplain. What is in the floodplain is down here. This individual has a boathouse or a boat shed with his pier here. What happened was when the original flood certification came back on this borrower, it triggered yes, flood insurance required. Well, the flood policy for this individual would have been over $3,500 per year. He didn't want to pay that. And his house is up on a hill. There is a pretty steep drop off right off his back deck. So there's no way that the water level from the lake is ever going to reach his house unless we had the flood of the millennium, or the 1,000 or 2,000 year flood. I mean, it would have to be substantial. So what we know how to do is speak with a flood certification company, provide them maps, provide them evidence showing that the actual dwelling is not in the floodplain. That's the key. If the floodplain doesn't touch the dwelling, flood insurance is not required. Again, if you want flood insurance, or if you need flood insurance, get it. But if you'd like to fight it, or at least find out whether or not it truly is a necessity, we're always here to help. So hope you learned something today. Let me know if you have any questions, and of course, we'll see you next week.